Hey, Colabcoaching yet again to share some wise words of wisdom for the week. It's week 4 of the addiction series, meaning it's the last week of the series. I know it's bittersweet, but I hope you have learned something from my last 3 videos and you're going to learn something great in this video. So, without any further ado, the question slash thought I have for you this week is, when is it good to have addictions? When is it good to have addictions? We first talked about what an addiction was. We talked about exactly how you are attached to your addictions. Then we talked about how to overcome your addictions. But we haven't really talked about those good addictions. I briefly discussed it, but let's go deeper into those good addictions. Now, I'm not here to say that the addictions that you have are good. I'm not here to say that they're bad. I think that's dependent on you, and you have to figure out exactly what's a good addiction and a bad addiction in your life. For me, what I define as a good addiction is that it gives you some type of satisfaction. Doesn't mean that satisfaction is something that other people might think is good. It depends on you. So, the addictions that you have in your life, we have to have a clear understanding what is good and what is bad, what is healthy and what is unhealthy. Let's go with the unhealthy and the healthy. I think good and bad is a little bit too strong. So let's talk about the healthy addictions and the unhealthy addictions and how you can separate the two. How can you differentiate the two? The best way to differentiate the two is to figure out the limits that you have in your addictions. Now, when it's an unhealthy addiction, we tend to not have any limits for them. We tend to just let them go wild, run free, and we tend to just let those addictions kind of dictate our lives. They have control over our lives. When an addiction is healthy, when you know addiction is healthy, meaning that it's promoting growth in your life, that means it's allowing you to have personal advancement, then those addictions, we tend to have more limits for those. Like, for example, the same example that I had in my previous videos is exercising. If you have a healthy addiction with exercising, you have a certain routine with it, and you have a certain habits that you prepare yourself. When you go to work out, you put your clothes on, you make sure you have maybe pre-workout, or you're eating before, or making sure you're gonna eat after. If you're fasting, all this different stuff, you have those healthy habits that lead to that healthy addiction of going to work out. But you set limits for them. You say, okay, I'm only going to work out an hour today, or I'm going to work out 30 minutes today, or I'm going to work out 3-4 times a week, or I'm going to work out 5 times a week. We set limits, and it also helps with your diet as well. We set limits on those as well if you're trying to reach a goal. But the bad addictions, the unhealthy addictions, we tend to be very lax on those addictions. We tend to just say, you know what, I'm in the mood for this, or oh, I have a craving for this, and I just go and indulge and indulge and indulge until either we get sick or we see something negative happening to us. Either we see some bad behaviors that we have with it, or whenever you get that sensation for those cravings, you tend to go a little excessive with them. Now, the best way to understand healthy and unhealthy a little bit better is to apply it to your life. Apply to certain things in your life that you are you know that you do things on a consistent basis for, such as you know that you tend to exercise. Now, exercising, is this something that is healthy in your life, or do you have the limits of where you exercise, or you just go and sit at the gym all day and you don't really have any routine, or you don't have really any structure for it? We have to learn that the moderation is important. You always hear the saying that everything's good in moderation. Well, it depends. It depends on the person. When it comes to moderation, we have to set the rules for the moderation. We have to set the rules to understand that, okay, this is something that I really enjoy, but what are my limits for this? I know that I enjoy this so much that I can go overboard. Yes, I can go overboard, but let's put some limits and moderations in those in within the addiction. Okay, I'm only going to eat this on Saturdays, or I'm only going to eat this on special occasions, or I'm only going to do this for an hour a day, or only going to do this to promote myself to become healthy. All these things are important. Now, I'm just giving the food and I'm giving the health analogies because everybody could attribute to those. Everybody knows what those are. So when it comes to your addictions, even if it's like extreme addiction, maybe drugs or anything like that, we have to understand, do I have limits with those? Do I have things that are going on in my life that I just let them just run its natural course? Do I have the control over that? We struggle with having control with so many things in our lives because we allow them to run free. We allow certain things to happen in our lives because we are not personally analyzing these situations. Now, I know it takes a lot of effort to analyze everything going on in your life and it's time constrained. I know, I get it. But when it comes to addictions, we have to be very analytical. We have to realize, is this helping me or is this not? Because let me tell you, if you let something happen in your life and you just let it control you, it will take you down a journey that you would not like and you will not be happy with. Everything starts off small. Everything starts off small and it becomes a snowball, and hence the snowball effect. If you allow something to keep going and going and going, rather than you setting limits and structures to them, they are going to hurt your life for the worse. And I'm here to tell you that I don't want you to be that person. I don't want you to be that person that's struggling because you had the moment in your life, and you probably reflecting on that moment constantly, that you had that moment to set limits for that thing, but you let it run its natural course, and now it's become too big that it's now uncontrollable. It controls your life, it controls what you do, it controls the steps that you take, and it has stunted your personal growth. You may feel like you are that person that's been in a certain situation for years and years and years, and you're trying to figure out how did you get to that point, and it most likely was because you allowed certain things to happen. Let's take it to relationships. When you build an infatuation, you build some type of affection towards someone, it's innocent, it's small. Affection is small. But when you build an obsession over that person and you're willing to do whatever it takes just to please that person, it becomes a big snowball to the point where you get blinded by the actions that person is taking, the way that person really treats you, the way that person actually listens to you, the arguments that you have, the disagreements that you have, the way you guys communicate with each other, the way you guys are building a foundation in your relationship or the lack thereof of a foundation in your relationship. All these things could have been stopped or postponed or reassessed if you set limits and moderated certain things that you allow to happen. Don't be that person. So to put it simply, there are good addictions out there. There are good addictions out there, but we have to set limits to our addictions so that they don't become bigger than they need to be and they start controlling your life. At the end of the day, you have the power to control anything that's going on in your personal life. Don't let your feelings, your emotions, your addictions, anything dictate how you feel if you do not have a clear grasp over it. Simple as that. So you're looking at me like, okay, I'm ready to figure out if these addictions in my life are healthy or unhealthy. I need help. So go to my website, yourcolabcoach.com. Go and do that relationship checklist. Go ahead and sign up for that free 15-minute coaching session. That way we can talk about whatever you want to talk about and see if we're a good fit for each other. Follow me on Facebook, Collab Coaching. Follow me on Instagram, Collab Coaching. Don't miss my series. You can rewatch this series, Addiction series, and get ready for the next series. Go to my YouTube, Collab Coaching, like, subscribe, and you will not be disappointed. Finally, share this with anyone that's struggling with their addictions right now, or you know someone you've been trying to talk to, but you couldn't really find the right words to express that their addictions are kind of hurting them. I'm here to help them. Share this with them. Hopefully it can make a difference. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and be safe out there.